Don't get on the train. Go home. Lock yourself in the closet. Don't ask why. You'll understand soon enough. Her fingers were ice cold as she pressed my phone back into my hand. I almost laughed in her face. Instead, I froze. My name is Alina Morozova. I'm 29 years old. I'm a financial analyst, logical to a fault. I don't believe in signs, psychics, or cryptic warnings from strangers at train stations. Especially not from an elderly woman wrapped in layers of scarves, her sharp eyes piercing straight through me like she already knew everything I kept hidden. I had been rushing to catch the 6:40 train to see my fiancé, Daniel. We were supposed to finalize wedding details that night. My life was orderly, structured, safe, and yet, somehow, I felt restless. I told myself it was curiosity. Or instinct. Or maybe it was the way she spoke, not dramatic, not theatrical, just urgent. So instead of heading to Daniel's place, I went back to my own apartment. At 7:12 p.m., I stood inside my bedroom closet, heart pounding, feeling absurd among winter coats and stacked shoeboxes. I nearly stepped out. Then I heard my front door unlock. Daniel's voice filled my apartment. I wasn't supposed to be home. Daniel had a key for emergencies. That's what he'd said when I gave it to him 2 years earlier, back when love felt simple. Back when he kissed my forehead and called me his future wife like it was a vow, not a tactic. Through the thin closet door, I heard him walk in without hesitation. No pause. No calling my name. Then another sound. High heels. A woman's quiet laugh. My stomach folded in on itself. For months, something had felt off. Daniel had grown distant, guarded with his phone, quick to criticize the way I dressed, the hours I worked, how I'd become cold lately. He blamed wedding stress. I believed him. Because I analyze risk for a living, but ignore it when it comes to love. I heard them move into the living room. The familiar creak of my couch sinking under weight that wasn't mine. Glass clinked. He'd brought wine to my apartment. For another woman. I told you she'd be on that train, Daniel said casually. Silence. Then her voice, amused. You're sure she suspects nothing? He laughed. And in that moment, hidden among coats and scarves, I realized this wasn't just wrong. It was deliberate. My ears rang, but I stayed perfectly still. Planned. The word echoed louder than their laughter. She's predictable, Daniel continued, and I could picture the smug curve of his smile. She never questions me. She thinks I'm just stressed about the wedding. The woman hummed approvingly. And the apartment? I'll move you in officially after the honeymoon. Once the paperwork's signed, it's basically ours. Ours. The closet seemed to shrink. The air thinned. Paperwork. My mind raced through the last month, Daniel pushing to simplify finances, urging joint accounts, convincing me to move my savings into an investment fund he controlled. I'd hesitated. He'd framed it as trust. As unity. As love. She has no idea what she signed, he said, pouring more wine. By the time she realizes, the money will already be shifted. Shifted. My entire life savings. The woman laughed softly. You're ruthless. No, he corrected calmly. I'm efficient. My hands trembled, but my thoughts sharpened. I wasn't heartbroken, not yet. I was calculating. Documents. Passwords. Access points. They were planning to marry me, drain me, and discard me. And suddenly, the old woman's warning didn't feel supernatural. It felt like a narrow escape. Then Daniel said something that turned my blood to ice. After tomorrow, she won't be a problem anymore. He said it twice, like a scheduling note. The woman hesitated. You're sure about the timing? Daniel exhaled slowly. She'll be on the 6:40. I told her to take it, traffic's unpredictable tonight. There's construction near the bridge. The bridge. My throat tightened. That train line had been in the news for weeks, maintenance delays, faulty signals. Daniel had insisted I take it instead of driving. He'd even checked the schedule for me. "You're not worried?" the woman asked. He chuckled. "It's not like I'm pushing her. Accidents happen." Accidents. The air left my lungs. He wasn't just planning to steal from me. He was setting himself up for something far worse. A grieving fiancé. Insurance payouts. Sympathy. Clean hands. I remembered the life insurance update I'd signed last month. He'd said it was responsible, smart, before marriage. My knees nearly buckled. In the living room, glasses clinked again. "To new beginnings," the woman said. "To freedom," Daniel replied. And inside that dark closet, surrounded by winter coats, something inside me didn't break. It hardened. They thought I was predictable. They thought I was already gone. They had no idea I was standing 10 feet away, alive, listening, and no longer in love. I didn't burst out. I didn't scream. I didn't confront them. I stood there, breathing slowly, letting the shock burn until it went cold. Daniel thought I was on that train. Thought I was hours away from becoming a headline, or at the very least, legally trapped and financially emptied. He had already moved on emotionally, strategically, and probably legally too. He just didn't know yet. I wasn't going anywhere. That told me he felt safe. And when people feel safe, they get careless. I waited until I heard the bedroom door open, my bedroom. Their footsteps. The faint dip of my mattress as weight settled where it didn't belong. I unlocked my phone quietly. Not to call the police. Not yet. First, I recorded audio. Then video, just a narrow angle through the closet door. Enough to catch faces, voices, the wine glasses, the intimacy unfolding in my space. Proof. I uploaded copies to a private cloud folder Daniel didn't know existed. One he had once laughed at. "You and your backups," he joked. Yes, I'd smiled. Me and my backups. When I heard movement toward the bathroom and the hiss of the shower starting, I slipped out silently. Barefoot. Calm. My heartbeat steady now. I gathered what mattered. My laptop, an external drive, my passport, and the folder of signed documents from my desk. By the time they realized I'd been home, everything would already be changing. They thought tomorrow would erase me. They were wrong. Tomorrow would expose them. I didn't sleep. By 2:17 a.m., I was parked 2 blocks away, laptop glowing against the windshield, dismantling and rebuilding my life line by line. First, I logged into the joint investment account. Daniel had access, but so did I. I froze every transfer scheduled for the morning. Then I initiated a compliance review. Anonymous tip. Suspicious activity. Potential financial manipulation. I knew exactly which words triggered automated audits. Fraud. Coercion. Unauthorized beneficiary changes. Next, I emailed our lawyer. Subject line, urgent, wedding postponed. No emotion. Just documentation. Timestamped recordings. Policy revisions Daniel had pressured me to sign. At 6:35 a.m. I scheduled a call with the insurance provider. I requested an immediate beneficiary freeze pending investigation. Then I did something colder. At 6:39, I texted Daniel. Train delays. Thinking of heading home instead. 3 dots appeared instantly. No, stay. It's fine. I'll see you later. Panic never hides well. At 7:05 a.m., I uploaded the edited footage, blurred enough for legality, clear enough for truth. I sent the private link to one person. Daniel's mother. Caption. Ask your son about the 6:40 train. Then I powered my phone off and waited. The collapse didn't take long. At 9:12 a.m., my phone came back to life. 37 missed calls. 22 from Daniel. 5 from his mother. 3 from our lawyer. 1 voicemail. I played it twice. Alina, what is this? Daniel's voice cracked. It wasn't calm anymore. It wasn't efficient. It was unraveling. Why is my mother crying? Why is the bank freezing the account? What did you do? I didn't answer. I watched. By noon, compliance had officially suspended all transfers. Daniel's account privileges were restricted. He tried logging in 7 times. Desperation leaves a trail. At 1:03 p.m., he showed up at my apartment. This time, I was inside. Not hiding. He pounded on the door. Alina, open it. We need to talk. Need. The same word he'd used when he needed my trust. My signature. My savings. I opened the door slowly. He looked pale. Unkempt. The smug confidence was gone. You misunderstood, he rushed. It was just talk. A joke. You know how people. I tilted my head. About accidents? His mouth opened. Closed. I didn't get on the train, I said quietly. For the first time since I'd known him, Daniel looked afraid. And I understood something then. This was never just about money. It was about control. And he had just lost it. He kept talking. When liars panic, they drown themselves in words. You're overreacting. You always twist things. You only heard part of it. I heard enough, I said. He stepped closer. You're destroying everything. The accounts. The wedding. My reputation. My reputation. Not us. Not love. Just damage control. I studied him. Then asked, if I'd taken that train and something had happened, would you have cried at my funeral? He didn't answer. That silence was my closure. His phone buzzed. He checked it. The color drained from his face. Compliance had escalated the review. The insurance provider flagged the beneficiary changes as potentially coerced. Our lawyer had withdrawn representation pending investigation. He looked at me, not angry now. Cornered. You sent it to my mother, he whispered. Yes. She thinks I tried to. You did. The truth sat between us. Heavy. Final. He left quietly. No slammed door. No threats. No dignity. 2 days later, I learned something else. The 6:40 train never crashed. But it was delayed for hours due to a signaling failure near the bridge. An accident waiting to happen. I don't know who that old woman was. I never saw her again. But sometimes, when I stand on that platform, I wonder. Was she warning me about the train? Or about the man I almost married? Either way, I listened.